Hi guys, we're gonna do chapter 3 today, and we're gonna be talking about the digestive system and how the body uses the food that we eat as energy. Okay, so again, a reminder: make sure you do the review questions after watching the video and going through your notes, and then submit them before the beginning of class. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so in this chapter, we're going to be talking about the digestive system. Some of these terms should be familiar. All right, so the digestive system is broken down into two parts. Okay, first is the main canal, which is called the alimentary canal. That is the gastrointestinal tract. And it starts in the oral cavity. It enters the alimentary canal through the mouth, okay? And there are a variety of teeth that are designed to break down the food in your mouth. You have incisors for cutting food, cuspids for tearing it, and then premolars and molars grind it, okay? And the variety of teeth that we have allows us to eat different types of foods, okay? Both meat and vegetable, okay? And then after we swallow the food, the tongue will push the food into the pharynx, the throat, or the pharynx, into the esophagus as a ball-like substance called a bolus, okay? And it will travel down the esophagus propelled by peristalsis. And peristalsis, the process is almost like if you squeeze toothpaste out of a tube, that kind of squeezing and relaxing that you get. This is why you can actually swallow food and drink when you're upside down, okay? When the bolus reaches the end of the esophagus, it will pass through the lower esophageal sphincter into the stomach, and there the food starts getting digested with a combination of squeezing from the muscles in the stomach and also with hydrochloric acid, okay? It's extremely strong, and your stomach has to have a mucus lining to prevent the hydrochloric acid from eating holes in the walls, okay? At this point, the food becomes a thick semi-liquid paste called a chyme, okay? After leaving the stomach, it travels into the small intestine where most of the digestive enzymes are released. And what happens here is the small intestine, there's lots of these little finger-like projections called villi, and they use diffusion and active transport to absorb the nutrients that get digested. Most of the digestion actually takes place in the small intestine. And then by the time the chyme exits the small intestine, pretty much all the nutrients have been extracted at this point. And the large intestine, the big thing, its role is to just extract water and the remaining nutrients, including vitamins, okay? At this point, the undigested food will pass through the rectum and be expelled, okay? So that's the main alimentary canal. The accessory organs are, they contribute to digestive process by releasing the digestive chemicals, okay, like salivary glands. These guys will produce food in the mouth to aid in chewing and to help break down, I believe, starches or carbs at this point. The liver produces bile, and bile actually helps digest fats in the small intestine, okay? The gallbladder stores the bile until it's needed. It is not it's necessary to store the bile, but you can survive without it. My mother had her gallbladder removed when she was younger. People who have their gallbladder removed don't usually have a lot of trouble digesting food as long as the liver is still producing bile. Okay. The pancreas releases the enzymes in pancreatic juice to help break down carbs, fats, proteins, and nucleic acid. It also does release insulin to help regulate blood sugar. And then you have the appendix, which is attached to the large intestine, right where the small intestine and the large intestine meet. And they believe it helps. They think a lot of people believe that it was just a vestigial organ left over from evolution. But now they're thinking that it may actually be related to the lymphatic system. So definitely not a vestigial organ. And unfortunately, it can be, it can be infected, and as a result, would have to be removed. My sister had her appendix removed a few years ago. So it can happen at any time to anyone. All right, so the dietary needs of the human body, okay? We all need nutrients, and the nutrients that we need are these 6 right here. Vitamins, most of which are not made in the human body, so we have to get that from our food mainly. A lot of them come from fruits and vegetables, okay? Yeah, so you can get a lot of vitamins from your diet. In fact, or you can, if you have a diet that is insufficient to get the vitamins, you can take a multivitamin, but it's recommended to do it through the foods you eat. Minerals as well. The bones store minerals. So calcium is just one of the minerals. They're needed for nerve and muscle function, blood coagulation, blood pH maintenance, enzyme function, and a lot of other uses. Water is essential. Your body is mostly water, and water helps your body to function. It also helps to balance fluids, your pH, and your body temperature. Okay. Fats are used to form the cell membranes, the protective membranes around the nerves, and some of your hormones. Carbs, which are your sugars, these and your starches, these guys use, obviously, if you guys remember, everything gets broken down into glucose, which is then used for cellular respiration, which is, produces ATP, which is used everywhere in the body. Proteins. Proteins make up about 50% of your dry weight. They help with hair, nails, and the matrix of connective tissue, so they're quite important. And remember, their basic building blocks are amino acids. Okay. Digestion is both mechanical and chemical. Mechanical as in you chew and stuff like that. Okay. So your teeth are going to grind your food. Amylase, which is in your saliva, breaks down your starches. Okay. The stomach mashes and grinds your food, while pepsin inside released in the stomach will split the proteins into the smaller amino acids. The intestines release amylase and lipase. Okay, so the amylase will digest the carbohydrates, and lipase will digest the fats. Okay, and again, so that's it for the function of the digestion. Okay.